Welcome back to Persona 3. Now, originally I actually, planned to go and sell a bunch of random stuff, but then I realized that, if I go out tonight, it'll make it late night, and that means I won't be able to go to Tartarus, and we need to go to Tartarus tonight, because we need to dodge someone's phone calls. This mechanic's gonna make a bit more sense later in the week, but now, basically, if we don't go to Tartarus, we're gonna be getting a phone call that we don't want to be getting, and in a Max Social Links run, we have to be very strictly manipulating these phone calls. So, we are going to Tartarus, and that means, well, we've put this off as long as we can. It's time for pain. Complete and total pain. Now, normally I would hold off on doing this because Yukari is sick. However, yeah, today I kind of need to do this. This is actually the last chance we've got to go to Tartarus before the full moon. And really, Yukari being sick is not going to really have that much of an impact on this next fight, because Yukari is not really the most useful here. So you'll notice here that if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, Junpei is in our party by default, but Yukari isn't. That's because if we talk to her, yeah, she'd rather not go. Unfortunately, you will troop through your sickness and join this fight. No excuses. Yeah, I don't think this is such a good idea either, but unfortunately we kind of have to. Because doing this with only 2 party members would be even worse. We're going to the 14th floor, where Doom awaits. This fight coming up is by far one of the most infamous in the entire game. It's easily the point in the early game where the game decides, you know what, we've been merciful on you until now, but we're gonna show you just how brutal this game can be. Relatively strong, that's an understatement. This boss coming up is pretty much the bane of everyone's existence at this point. There's only one shadow here, but trust me, that's not gonna make things any easier. Here we go! Oh boy, we're gonna need luck for this. I do have a plan, but that plan does require luck, and unfortunately, it is the only reliable way I've found
attracted the Guardian's attention. Its arcana is the Chariot.
To fight this thing. Also Chariot Arcana, so you can be expecting physical attacks. This is the Rampage Drive. Now,
I'll attempt to analyze the enemy.
remember how I said some of the early bosses kind of basically giant middle fingers to Junpei? This thing is even worse. It's immune to all physical attacks, and resists fire. Being immune to physical attacks means as well that it can't actually be criticaled, and it's the first boss so far that has no weaknesses. So you can't get 1-mores at all in this fight. Really, this boss is a battle of attrition. You need to wear down its HP before it does the same thing to you, and with how strong its physical attacks are, that is kinda hard. Now, I'm actually going to put Yukari on Act Freely because Garu is one of the few things this boss doesn't resist, and it's probably our main method of dealing damage. I'll actually put Junpei on Heal/Support because, as you might see, his random item healing is actually going to be more effective than Yukari's Dia at this, due to the fact that she's sick. So, I have Pixie here. Pixie's handy for a few reasons. Mainly though, I have this Pulimpa skill. Unfortunately, it only has a 25% chance of connecting, but if it does connect, I'll explain what it does, because it's very helpful in this fight. Come on, pesky pixie, pester, yes you, and of course it missed. Okay, Junpei's about to find out the hard way.
Crap! Slash attacks are out.
That slash attacks are out. Now yeah, like I said, leaving Yukari free to use Garu, because that is our main method of dealing damage here. Unfortunately,
is in danger.
if that happens, then she may waste time healing unless Junpei gets a healing item in. Now, as you can see here, the Rampage Drive has Tarukaja as well, so it can buff its attack, and if it does that, it basically one-shots everyone in your party, so that's very, very bad.
Be careful. Takiba is badly injured.
It also has Thunder Magic, so yeah, Yukari's gonna have her weakness targeted for pretty much the first time in a boss fight. That's why I said she's not exactly the most useful here. Uh-oh. Okay, good, medicinal powder, that's great. Now Yukari can get a Garu in rather than having to waste her turn healing. Oh, crap. Yep, there's a Mazio going. Well, it missed, but if it hit, you would have realized that Pixie also resists thunder, which is helpful for this fight. Come on, Pixie. Yeah, this is kinda... Oh, great. Junpei did not fully heal her. And she's stuck wasting a turn to getting up, which means this thing's probably going to use Mazio again. Yeah, Yukari will spend a lot of this fight stun-locked if you let this thing have its way. That's why we're going to try not to let it have its way. If this works. Really? Now, it will probably come as no surprise to you guys that I did this first try in my practice run, but I've already failed this twice. Oh boy, and it's going for Tarakaja early. We might have already lost. Okay, good. Panic's worked. Now, with Panic on this thing, it's unable to use any attacks that aren't just standard regular attacks. It can't use skills. The thing is, this thing's pretty much its entire repertoire consists of skills, so it's pretty much useless if you panic it. And yes, Panic does work on it and most bosses in this game. Now, I could lower this thing's defense as well, but I actually think that I'd rather buff my own defense, especially since it's got that Tarakaja up. That is very, very scary. So I'm going to buff Gary Stu's defense, because I have had Gary Stu get one-shotted in this battle before, and that's really not fun. Thankfully, our team members are now free to wail on this thing while it's panicked.
I couldn't finish it up.
Help me!
And good thing I put Yukari on not here. Really? And yeah, good thing it can't use that assault drive. I have a feeling that its panic is going to wear off soon, so I'm going to switch back to Pixie. And so now I would go for Rakunda, but I kind of want to save my SP for healing. The problem with that is that... not healing, I want to save it for debuffing. Well, this is a debuff, but I mean the, yeah, I'm kind of a little tongue-tied in this battle, but there's a good reason. I am really sick of having to redo this fight. This battle makes me very, very nervous. Okay, when this thing's defense debuff, Garu does a pretty good chunk of damage. Attack reverted, excellent. I think yeah, I knew it would recover, but thankfully its attack reverted and it's buffed itself up again. Fortunately, I still have my defense debuff on. Now, I need Pulimpa to connect a little bit more, and this might not. No, it didn't. That's kind of bad. Junpei, you may want to heal yourself, because you are at severe risk of getting one-shotted.
I can do it.
Thankfully, sickness doesn't exactly impact Yukari's ability to use Garu. Slower than half, and Junpei's probably dead. Yes, he is.
Iori's down.
Yeah, that's not good. And my defense is reverted, so, if I fail this Pulimpa, I might have actually lost. I was trying to say I may have lost here, but there we go. Okay, good. Panic connected. Excellent. And while I want to revive Junpei here, I'm wondering if I actually should. I only have 2 revival beads. You know what? I might as well. It's best to use items while this thing is panicked. Especially SP healing, because if you give this thing a turn when you're not trying to debilitate it, it's going to recover, isn't it? Or, no, it's not. Okay, that's good. Wonder if Junpei's turn order's a little screwed up since he kind of fainted there. Yeah, Junpei's now going after the boss. I almost feel like I should actually go for, the Chewing Soul now. Only because if you run out of SP in this fight, you're basically dead. But if you try and use an SP curing item while it's not panicked, you have a very good chance of getting slaughtered. I learned that the hard way in one of my attempts at this. Okay, we're close. We're close. And it's going for Mazio again. Well, that's not really going to matter that Yukari just got shot at. Oh, okay, that's actually kind of cool. That makes them immediately stand up. Unfortunately, it's not going to do much, seeing as Yukari's also shocked, so she's going to lose her turn anyway. Or at least she lost her turn for that round anyway, but nice move there, Junpei. Okay, it's not attack buffed as far as I know. Okay, come on. Okay, that is very lucky.
Help me.
And unfortunately, she is healing. That's not what I wanted her to do. Haha, you can't use your buff. Yeah, I'm going to take every opportunity to mock this thing, because once it is dead, I'm going to celebrate a lot. Yeah, like most people, I really, really don't like this boss fight, and I honestly feel like it might be a good move to heal Yukari, just so that she doesn't heal herself. When does she get her turn? Right after me. Yeah, I'm not even dealing any damage in this... Well, Gary Sue's not even dealing any damage in this fight, because, doing it would require switching to a persona that doesn't resist thunder. Really? Yukari, you're supposed to not be on heal/support. Oh, well. Well, at least he can't use that. You're so close.
That one just won't die.
Well, I wish it would die at this point. Okay, let's... Do I put its defense down, or do I put a safety defense buff on Gary Stu so this thing doesn't recover and immediately kill him? This thing's almost dead. I don't think I need to defense debuff it. But if I switch to RM... Okay, Aramitama's not weak to thunder, though. It's weak to wind. And it has better defense. You know what? I'm actually going to do a bit of a safety strategy here. I really, really do not want to fail this again.
I can do it.
Okay, zoom in. Does that mean this thing's dead? Probably not, but... Oh, come on! One more fire from Junpei. Okay, it's recovered. Oh, Yukari's probably going to die.
Takuba's down.
Can you finish this, Junpei?
Damn.
Not quite.
Finish it off.
Okay. Do I have something that can finish this thing? I have Agi. Is Agi gonna work? I could switch to Apsara and use Bufu, but I trust in Aramitama's defense. Yes, it's dead! It's dead! It's finally dead! Yes!
You have the potential to grow
Oh,
stronger.
I don't like that fight, and this footage had better recorded correctly. Yeah, only for beating that do we get a Balm of Life, which revives an ally with full HP. They could have used that back then. That 100 experience was not enough to level up anyone. But yeah, I hope that battle showed you guys just how important buffs, debuffs, and status effects are in this game, especially in boss fights. You really need to learn how to use those in this game, or you're kinda gonna get slaughtered. Now I'm gonna go ahead and revive Yukari, not with that Balm of Life. I can't buy those at this point, but I can buy revival beads. And I'll just have you heal us all. Yeah, well, fighting that boss is liable to make anyone feel sick. Oh, I'm gonna... You know what? I'm gonna grab these chests. Another Balm of Life. Yeah, yeah, they're kind of rubbing it in that your party's gonna be pretty badly destroyed after that one. And a Soma. Again, another very good recovery item. Fully restores the party's HP and SP. The entire party. I definitely recommend holding on to that for now. You can't buy those in shops yet, and really a full restore of your entire party is much better saved for later in the game than now, when it's much more significant because you'll have more HP and SP. Anyway, we're going back to save now, because that was ridiculous. And I'm honestly considering keeping that fight even... Oh yeah, and because Yukari's sick, she's going to go home. That's not going to matter that much here, because I'm not going to be grinding all that much tonight, even though I really should be. I'll explain that at the end of this Tartarus session. But for now, I'm going to save, and you're going to see some fail channels. So, yeah, enjoy! Enemies that are inflicted with panic will occasionally waste turns doing nothing. Now, speaking of wasting turns doing nothing, I can't do anything with Pixie, so I'm gonna have to switch over to... Don't really have much that can do all that much damage to this thing apart from Rapsaurus's ice. May as well use that. Actually, wait a minute. I've actually recently been in a country that had Hindu temples, so I now know the correct pronunciation of this persona's name is Apsara. Yeah, Apsara, I think it is, yeah.
I can do it.
You saw statues and designs of them all over the temples. And since Yukari has no one to heal, she's doing some good damage with Garu.
Finish it up.
Okay, it's recovered. I'm gonna have to switch back to Pixie now.
Single strike. Come on, stand up.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, well, you can't critical it, but it can certainly critical you. You can skip this scene, by the way, thankfully. I know with Tarakaja, healing is half as effective with sickness. Yukari is demonstrating that right there.
That one just won't die.
Despite its resistance to fire, fire is really the main skill you're going to be using to damage this guy. Really, this is a battle of attrition. Wear down its HP before it does the same to you. That's really how all battles with no weakness enemies go. And yes, okay, good. Good, okay, that's really lucky I hit it twice in a row. Haha, you can't use Assault Drive. And, well, good thing we're already on Pixie, so we can try and put Panic back on. This is really the main way this fight's gonna go. Wow, I'm getting very lucky with this, actually. And I will certainly take it, because, yeah, I'm gonna need a lot of luck in this fight. Now, can my ridiculous Panic luck continue? Obviously not. Better, well, medicinal powder, that's it. So that's a medicinal herb. I think that's in another game. Oh no, that could cost me very badly.
Not good.
And Yukari immediately goes down. On it. Really, Junpei? And we are slowly running out of SP. Yeah, the main idea of this fight is to really, I guess my luck is turning around. Well, of course you couldn't finish it off. Yeah, definitely turning around.
Iori is in danger.
Thankfully, Iori has better just call him my last name like Mitsuru did. Thankfully, he has better endurance, so he's not going to get one-shotted by that, but still, this is going quite badly. Later in the game, we'll learn full party healing spells, and those would really come in handy, and I had a feeling. Okay, I think we've actually failed this. Because I need to recover my SP now, and if I... Because I need to keep that panic going. 100 SP, that's total, and I think we're dead. Yep, we are!
Hang in there.
So that's what happens when you lose the battle of attrition. So yeah, you can see why I'm immensely relieved to be rid of that boss. And I pretty much owe it all to Pixie. I'm seriously impressed. I never really used Pixie all that much in my first playthrough. I completely forget how I beat that boss in my first run. I probably blotted it out of my memory or something like that, but yeah, Panic was really useful here, if you get lucky with it. I've had fights where I wasn't so lucky with it and kind of got slaughtered. But the resistance to Thunder is also pretty useful. So, yeah, training up a Pixie is quite good. I must thank the Shin Megami Tensei wiki for that, because that was actually what suggested the Pixie strategy. Of course, for now, I'd probably rather have one of these to equip, because they're higher level. Because yes, we're not actually done here for the night, although we pretty much are. I should also mention that if you can beat the Rampage Drive, you should not worry about the next storyline boss, because the Rampage Drive is considerably harder. So, yeah, no need to worry about the next storyline boss, even though it's higher level. The Rampage Drive's level 8, the next story boss is level 10, but generally speaking, the Tartarus Guardians are harder than the storyline bosses, mainly because you get the opportunity to save before them, whereas the story bosses, well, you'll see soon. Anyway, we're gonna go up the stairs here, and normally I'd be crazy going in here without my healer, but the structure of the next floor seems to be different. What I'm going to do here is I'm basically going to run to the stairs, unless there are any chests in my way. Let's see. Okay, there's a shadow that way, a shadow... Okay, chest. I'm probably going to run from this fight if I get into it. Okay.
2 enemies detected.
Yeah, you guys are not worth my effort. You're going to give pathetic experience. Speaking of experience, I'll discuss that after this. Yeah. Real useful when we haven't seen any enemies yet who even inflict poison. And you're running away. The annoying thing about the running enemies is sometimes they actually block you. And that's all there was to this floor. Okay, so I can just go to the next one. And the next floor is a little special, floor 16. Yeah, this place is a little different, and whoa, someone sure spilled a lot of water here, since water turned into blood in the dark hour. Yeah, that's what I'll just tell myself. Yeah. Got all these fountains, though, just... This area does look, kind of interesting, these structures in the background here. But the most interesting thing here is this chest here, which gives you Old Document 1. That was a request from Elizabeth, but we can go into our directory and actually view that. That's the wrong option. If we go dictionary, Old Document 1. The electricity's hooked up, but why do they need so much? There's only a school on this island. Yeah, people who've watched my other stuff might be getting reminded of the Lost Dimension documents there. We'll be getting more of these, but there's this huge barricade of school chairs and desks here. The path to the next floor is blocked and we can't go any further. This is what I mentioned all those videos ago that was the main goal, I'd say, of every Tartarus session, is reaching this point, which I like to call the block. The block is the point in Tartarus where you can't go any further unless you complete the next story event. Generally, the idea of this is that if you're strong enough to reach the block, you're strong enough to take on the next storyline event. So that's generally what I like doing. I like to reach that point, and once I've reached that point, generally it's like, yeah, that's pretty much where I like to call it for Tartarus explorations. There's also another reason why you want to reach the block before the next story event, and that's because Elizabeth always has a request to get one of the old documents, which always appear right at that floor. Her requests to get the old documents always have a deadline of the next full moon, so unless you get to the block by the full moon, you will miss out on one of Elizabeth's quests, and that's why I like to do that. So we've got the first old documents. Well, it is sort of interesting, but we'll probably need more to piece together the full thing. But obviously there is something going on with the school. But as a reward we get a bead chain, which I believe is kind of like a half Soma. It fully restores the HP of your entire party, but not the SP. And if we check our requests, we've actually completed every request we can do except Jack Brothers, and there's nowhere we'll be high enough level to fuse the two personas we need for that yet. So basically, we've done every request we can at this point in the game. And the main thing is, we've completed every deadline request. So we don't have to worry about any of these expiring. Since this quest has no deadline, I'm not so worried about it. But yeah, with that, we've basically done everything we can in Tartarus until the next plot event. Now, normally I would actually grind a little bit more, but Yukari got sick, so I'm not going to do that. I actually did go ahead and practice the next story event with the levels that I have now, and I didn't have any trouble, so I think I should be able to do it. Also, if you're a little underleveled, the enemies that you fight during story events give massive amounts of experience compared to Tartarus enemies, so we're actually going to level up quite a bit there. I'm actually going to just check out what I can fuse for the moment. Let's see. Maybe to give a brief preview of things. Now, we don't actually need Fornius yet. Alp is a new Lover's persona that's a bit higher level than Pixie, but we don't even need a Lover's persona yet. I will mention that we actually are going to need Omoi Kane quite soon, but I'll deal with that after the plot events. Another persona that we might be needing soon actually requires fusing Orpheus, yeah. Oh, okay, also Lilim. Now, I've heard that Lilim is actually quite useful for the Rampage Drive fight as well. It's got a resistance to thunder, it learns Marin Karam, which inflicts charm, which basically does the same thing as Panic will, stopping it from using skills, but it'll also mean that, well, I mean, charmed enemies normally fight other enemies and occasionally heal your party if they have healing spells, but since that thing was alone, Marin Karam essentially does the exact same thing as Palimpa, so same thing, really. Also, I wouldn't recommend casting Provoke on that thing. That's a nice press X to die moment right there. Yeah, for those who don't know, inflicting Rage makes enemies get increased attack power and get 2 regular physical attacks per turn. And that thing will probably kill you very quickly if you do that. The other cool thing about Lilim is, like I've alluded to before, it's possible to fuse one that has all 4 elements. It already has Agi and Zio, but it's possible to fuse Bufu and Garu onto it through a combination of, I think it requires Fornius? I forget the exact combination, but it requires Fornius. The main reason it does require Fornius, a fused Fornius, is that it's not for any skills that Fornius has, it's for the fact that Fornius inherits 2 extra skills that makes it so that Lilim will inherit 2 skills from the fusion, and it has to do that to get both of the elemental skills. What I'm saying won't make really much sense to anyone who's new to this game, but it is an option if you're not going for a max Social Links run. If you are, it's not recommended to fuse Lilim, because you'll lose some other personas that you'll need for Social Links, and you never need a Devil persona for Social Links. But anyway, now that's all done, really, there's nothing left for us to do in Tartarus now. So it's time to go back. We've missed that call that we wanted to miss. And next time, we'll do our final social linking before, well, Mysterious Creepy Boy already spoiled for us that something's gonna happen on the full moon. So, see you guys then.